Ralph way. Your favorite camp out what?
Probably Gettysburg. It was a lot of fun, you know. It was a fun drive down. We learned a lot. You know, pretty sure my sister went with you, which was fun, you know. True. And I just learned a lot from it. It was, you know, fun. It was warm. It was good. What was yours? Good question.
I'd probably have to say not the last time at Canada, granted that was fantastic, but the time before, because that was the time they had the huge one-cylinder steam engine running at the town when we went to Upper Canada Village. That's always a ball to see all the different aged kids up there. You just meet everyone between the patch trading. You know, we had kids from Canada, we had kids from England here, didn't we? Yeah. Come over. So I mean, that's everyone in Brotherhood Camper. You meet a lot of really nice kids, a lot of walks of life, and it's a good time. Plus, their bread's phenomenal. I mean, if I like to gloves, and it's not free at all. You got least favorite?
Least favorite? Not really. If it was a bad time, someone always made it a good time. So it wasn't really a bad time. Least favorite.
Was it the milk? I was going to get to that. That wasn't the least favorite. It's up there. It's still a good overall besides it. Yeah, Bird Force. There's no doubt. That was that spring? March? March. So like, all right, let's go to Vermont. I'm like, oh, it sounds like a humdinger of a time. And then it was going to rain, so we're like, let's not go. But everyone's like, no, man, let's go. So we went. I love you, Uncle Carl. We went. It was raining when we got up there, and it was probably like 38 degrees, hiking in a mile for these lean-tos. And then it started first off, that was the biggest lesson for me and anyone else that was in the camp out. It was all of us, hey, let's make a fire, guys, as we're out in the rain for 4 hours. It's a good idea, I promise. Not so much when it dips down to like 28 overnight and you had like 45-mile-per-hour winds and all we hear is trees crashing around us. My lean-to ended up with about 6 inches of snow on the inside of it. Our boots and jackets physically cracked. Anyone that was outside because it was so frozen. Mrs. Griffin ended up on a picnic table on the pavilion with tarps around it, but the tarps blew down in the middle of the night. So yeah, that was a great, grand old time.
All on the lean-to.
Oh yeah.
In the middle of the night too?
That was Tyler.
No, there was another person. It wasn't just him.
I thought Brett did that.
No, I don't know. Anyways, it wasn't, as you can tell by the comments, it was a grand old time.
We learned a good lesson. Don't play in water.
Yes. Hey, favorite memories, I guess, that sticks out with these guys?
Yeah, that's hard. There's a lot. One of the most memorable one was probably my first camp out in Boyd. I wasn't too keen on sleeping somewhere I hadn't been. And Mr. Sherman made sure I was good. I don't know how else to say
that. I remember that. That was Weeblow's camp.
Yeah.
Orion had just joined up, back out to join. And I don't know if he'd ever been away from home at all or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. He did good. And a lot of times at night, this is not an uncommon thing. The kids, they get lonesome, they get homesick. And if you can just get them through that one night, usually they're good from there. And they actually had the entire staff. Do you remember what the staff did to you?
Ice cream.
They took him down, they talked to him, they told stories. Everyone else was jealous because he ended up getting ice cream. And they came back, and he was all smiles then, and went to bed, and the staff actually sang for a little while for all of them. So it was one of the coolest things. I was glad I was there. So I vividly remember that. So after that, no words.
Definitely gonna say Lucas, definitely a good time there at the old Hobo Palooza. Good. Got a nice close-up of your shin there. And, Harry, I don't remember if it was DC or Gettysburg when I got yelled at for screaming Getty Lee glasses in the museum. That was a good old time. You never know what we're going to get into. Or with Mrs. Griffin, we're down in DC, and we didn't know how to get to, what was it, the memorial we were going to? Where we did the flag ceremony. No, we didn't know where to go. We're leading. She's like, I don't know where to go. I'm like, let's take your first 2 rights. And we ended up ending up there because we had no idea at all where we were going. And with the traffic down there, it was a bigger of a drive. It was good. Yes, Fall River with we were leaving the cabins there, which is phenomenal. They got a beautiful camp. And they had a fridge and everything, and we were going to the battleship overnight, so we couldn't really take much with the coolers and stuff. So like, oh guys, we got a third of a gallon of 1% milk left. Does anyone want it? And foolishly, I said yes. Let me drink that for you. Well, about 3/4 of the way of the trip to the battleship, I was about dead. Not a fun experience. You can ask anyone there. I was hurting pretty good by the time we got to the battleships. Don't do that. Not a good idea. The last thing, I guess the final thing, especially for you guys up there that are like, years behind me and stuff. And anyone that was Eagle Scout, I think pretty much can tell you, you get life like 2 years before, and you're like, oh, I'm good. And then you start putting it off, and you put it off a little more, and you're like, nah, I got time to do this merit badge. And you get down to like 3.5 months, and I'm like, oh, hey, Mrs. Gillespie, I got to do this 3-month merit badge with 3.5 months left. But we probably should start that, where you get your project within, I was only a couple weeks basically before my birthday when I finished it. Don't wait. It goes fast. I can tell you. I can tell you. It goes fast.
They should add that to the Scout law. A Scout will not procrastinate. I noticed the theme as everyone was telling their stories and the boys were reminiscing about the times and events. And it was a learning process. I wasn't there, but I believe it was in Gettysburg. And Brett was like, Dad, check out this cool flag. It's a rainbow flag. Let me get it, Dad. I want this rainbow.
True story.
And as these young men will learn that becoming an Eagle Scout is not the end of the journey. It is merely the beginning. And as an Eagle, you have far greater responsibility than you had before. To explain these responsibilities, I would like to call for Eagle Scout Harrison Griffin to give the Eagle charge.
You're going to do that. He's going to do that. It's got to charge Stand over. Next to the mirror.
Yeah, don't sit behind me. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
The Eagle rank represents proficiency in all scouting skills and is attained by only 2% of all young men in scouting. It represents a great deal of teamwork as a member and a leader of a troop. You demonstrate it by living the Scout Oath of Law in an effort to perpetuate the scouting spirit. It also represents years of hard work, strength of character, persistence, and more importantly, it is indicative of what lies in the future as you grow into manhood. Eagle rank testifies that a scout has an understanding of his community and his nation, and a willingness to become involved. It is also fitting at this time to explain that not only does this badge signify your hard work, it also signifies certain obligations on your part. Pay attention. So the first obligation of an Eagle Scout is honor. The white and eagle badge represents honor, and it's the sacred foundation of his character. Character is not what you think of yourself, Orion Brett, but what you are deep inside. It is what you do to reflect credit upon your home, your family, your church, school, friends, and yourselves. Always remember to let the white of your badge remind you to live with honor. The second obligation of an Eagle Scout is loyalty. The blue in the Eagle badge represents loyalty. Your loyalty, for without it, character lacks direction. Regardless of how rough the road is, how difficult the task, or how impossible the situation, you must remain loyal to your cause and purpose. It is the sense of belonging, being a part of a team and working together with others. It is standing by your work, your promises, and your pledges. It is also the feeling you give others, knowing they can count on you. Let the blue of your badge remind you to remain loyal. The third obligation of the Eagle Scout is courage. The red in the Eagle badge represents courage. It gives your character force and strength. If you have faith in God and your fellow man, you are able to face each day unafraid and strive to share in the work at hand. You should do your part in all things, regardless of danger, adversity, or hardship. Let the red of your badge remind you to live with courage. The fourth obligation is responsibility and is represented by the Scout motto, be prepared. It means that you're always in a state of readiness, both in mind and body, so you'll be able to face danger and help others to the best of your abilities. It also means that you have been trained for emergencies and that you are confident of your ability to do your duty as an Eagle Scout. The fifth and final obligation is that of service. The obligation is represented by the eagle. You must extend a helping hand to those who still toil up the scouting trail, just as others helped you achieve your goal. It means that the daily good turn must continue. You must strive to protect the weak and defend the helpless. The eagle also indicates that you are now an elite member of an esteemed group of world citizens. With this honor comes the knowledge that any discredit which falls upon you also befalls your brother Eagle Scouts. Remember your obligations of honor, loyalty, courage, responsibility, and service. Our heartfelt congratulations to you, Brett and Orion, to this very, very special occasion, and our sincere hope is that you may always wear your Eagle badge with dignity and pride. Thank you, and we'll hand over to Pat Flynn.
Okay, now is the presentation of the Eagle badge. As our Court of Honor began this morning, you joined your fellow Scouts and repeated the Scout oath. Now you will stand alone and repeat a new oath, the Eagle Scout promise. For the words you say are familiar or similar to those you have said so many times before today, they will mean more to you than they ever have before. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealed your oath with the words which close the Declaration of Independence. If all the Eagle Scouts in the audience now could stand at this time and rededicate yourself by repeating the Scout promise with the new Eagle Scout. And please make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I affirm my alliance to the three voices of the Scout oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout.
Just do one time. Let them repeat after you.
Okay. I affirm my alliance to the three voices of the Scout oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. And take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of the Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example, my rank and influence, and make them count strongly for better scouting, and for better citizenship in my troop, and in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my Scout honor. Okay, to you people in the audience, you're being seated now. Will the honor guard please escort the candidates to parade?